Hi guys, welcome to our math class. So today we are going to continue our lesson on transformation, which is we are going to focus now on rotation. So as you watch this video, I would like you to complete the guided notes on rotation. And also after watching this video, you will be tasked to do two things. First, you have to accomplish the rotation worksheet, and the second, you're going to do the Alex activity on rotation as well. So, your goal after watching this video, you can tell to yourself that I can perform and describe rotation on the coordinate plane. And again, we are going to do the guided notes and do some activities for independent practice so that we will ensure that you understand the lesson. So, you got this, don't worry. So, let's get started. So, first, let us define what is rotation. Again, as you continue with this lesson, you can actually pause the video for a while sometimes if you want to write your notes. Okay? So a rotation is a transformation in which a figure is rotated or turned about a fixed point called the center of rotation. So a rotation does not change the size or shape of the figure. So the pre-image, the original image, and the image are congruent or the same with one another. Take a look at this example here. Okay, so this one is what we call the center of rotation. Okay, so we have turn, okay, our triangle, okay, in reference to our origin. Okay, so rotations can be described in degrees and in direction. So the phrase 90-degree clockwise and 270-degree counterclockwise are two examples of possible descriptions of a rotation. In this figure, this one is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Okay? Clockwise means it follows the hands of the clock. Okay? 90 degrees because as you can see, they can form a 90-degree angle. Okay, let me give you an example of rotations with center at the origin and how it looks like. Okay, first, this one is a 90-degree clockwise rotation. As you can see, our pre-image is the blue triangle ABC, and our rotated image is the purple triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime. This one is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Then we rotated it as 180-degree clockwise. So as you can see, when you rotate a pre-image 180 degrees, it turns down, okay, the image upside down. And also, we can rotate our image 270-degree clockwise, okay? A clue that you can also look at here, okay, in rotation, since we are rotating our image in our coordinate plane and it is divided into four, let's say this is quadrant one, two, three, and four. And as you can see, every quadrant is actually 90 degrees. That's why when you rotate it one time, that's 90. Second time, 180. And then the third time, that will be 270 degrees. Okay, this is rotated clockwise in reference to the hands of the clock, like this one. Okay, however, we can also rotate things counterclockwise. Okay, just like this. Okay, so as you can see, rotating an image 270 counterclockwise means going on the other way around. So take a look at your 270-degree clockwise. If we're going to rotate it counterclockwise, when we say counterclockwise, on the other side of the way of the clock, right? So for this one, if our pre-image is triangle ABC, if we rotated it 90-degree clockwise, it will be going here. Look at that one. And it's similar as if rotating it 270-degree clockwise. Okay? And you will also observe rotating 180-degree clockwise or counterclockwise will just be the same thing. So this one is counterclockwise. If we do it clockwise, it will also be the same thing. Okay? And rotating 270-degree counterclockwise is actually the same thing as 90-degree clockwise. So for example, triangle ABC is our pre-image. So 90, 180, and 270 degrees. Okay? So remember this one, okay? Clockwise and counterclockwise are sometimes the same. So for 90-degree clockwise, it's the same thing with 270-degree counterclockwise. 270-degree clockwise is the same thing as 90-degree clockwise. 180, it doesn't matter if you will do it clockwise or counterclockwise because the image will land on the same place. Again, these are examples of rotation with center at the origin. This is our origin, 0, 0. However, you can also rotate, okay, having different center. You can have a center from here, from anywhere on our coordinate plane. But you will have that one when you go to geometry. Right now, we're going to focus on center of rotation at the origin. So please complete your guided notes about this one. So once you're ready, you can now go on to the next part of our presentation. So to give you a better view on how rotation looks like, this one is an example of a complete rotation. So as you can see, our pre-image is this blue letter L, okay, letter A, okay, and this one is rotated clockwise. So as you can see, this one will happen to our image A if it is rotated 90-degree clockwise, this one. And our center here is the origin as well. That is, it turns our image down. This one is rotating our image 180-degree clockwise as well. So as you can see, it turns our pre-image upside down. And then finally, this one is rotating our image 270 degrees clockwise. So if you want to imagine the counterclockwise rotation, let me use a purple pen and take a look. So if you have your pre-image as our A, for counterclockwise 90 degrees, it's going here. So that is 90-degree counterclockwise. As you can see, it's the same thing with 270 degrees clockwise. 180, this one is 180 degrees counterclockwise. It's the same thing as 180 clockwise. And finally, this one is at 270 degrees counterclockwise. So my purple, remember, we have rotated the image counterclockwise against the way of the clock. And then for the red, that is clockwise. Just how our clock works. Okay, this is an example of a rotation made by the image. And by the way, when you turn the image all the way, full turn, that is at 360 degrees, remember that you are just turning back the image to its original position in our coordinate plane. Okay, another example will be this one. So as you can see, we have our image A here, pre-image A, and you could rotate that one counterclockwise and clockwise as well. So we have D, C, and B as our rotated image. And remember I told you a while ago, a full rotation is 360 degrees, which means the figure is rotated until it is in the same position that it started. Okay, the pre-image and image will be in the same location. So basically, that's how a rotation looks like. Okay, you are turning around an image on a certain center of rotation. So imagine riding in a roller coaster or in a Ferris wheel in a merry-go-round. You are rotating yourself as well. Okay, let's move on. So for us to make our life easy about rotation, we have some rules that will guide us so that we can rotate our image immediately. Okay? So as you can see, we have different types of rotation based on degrees and direction. We have 90-degree clockwise, counterclockwise, 180 clockwise and counterclockwise, 270-degree clockwise and counterclockwise as well. So I would like you to look at our point on the pre-image and our pattern for the after the rotation. So this is what we call our coordinate notation for rotation, or the rules for rotation. Please fill in the table on your paper with our rules. Okay, let me give you one quick example. So looking at the image above here, okay, as you can see, so we have to write first the ordered pair for our pre-image so that we can check, okay, what are we going to use. So for let's have our pre-image triangle ABC. So this is our pre-image, the blue triangle. So our A have a coordinates of, let me see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So for our A, we have negative 1 and 1. For B, we have our negative 3 and 1. And for C, okay, we have negative 1 and 4. So without actually looking at our image, okay, we are going to rotate this one. As you can see, this is our angle. That is 90 degree, okay? And our direction is on here, like the way of the clock, okay? So we are rotating our image 90 degrees, okay? 90 degrees clockwise. So for us to make our life easy, for example, we don't have yet the purple image, okay? So rotating our 90-degree clockwise, we're going to follow this coordinate notation, right? So the notation says, right, we will have y and then negative x. So it means that for our ordered pair for our image, okay, A prime, B prime, C prime, triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, we're going to follow this one. Y, okay, and then we will have the negative x. Remember in our pre-image, this is x, this is y. So for A prime, we copy y, which is 1. And then negative x, we take the opposite of the x. If it's negative, it will become positive. If it's positive, it will become negative. So you have negative 1, it will become positive 1. Okay, and as you can see in our rotated image here, this is our A prime, and that is 1 and 1. Okay, for B prime, we follow y and then opposite x, so we copy y. So our y for B is 1, so that will be 1, and then the opposite of negative 3 will be positive 3. And looking at our image, that is 1, 3 as well. For C prime, we will have y again, so we copy 4, and the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So as you can see, this is our C prime, 4 and 1. So it follows the coordinate notation y and negative x. Okay, so it's very important for us to be familiar with this rule so that it will be easier for us to rotate our image. So I would like you to complete your table, and then we are going to proceed to our examples applying the rules for our rotation. You can also copy the example if you want to, but we will have ample examples after this. Okay, so let's start with our first example. Okay, I will suggest that you listen first, okay, before you copy the answers on your paper. So we are looking at this one. Okay, we are given triangle LMN with vertices L 0, M 03, and N 33. Represent a desk in Jackson's bedroom. He wants to rotate the desk counterclockwise 180 degrees about the vertex L. So we are going to graph the figure and the image, and then write the coordinates of triangle L prime, M prime, and N prime. Okay. So the first thing that we have to do is to graph our pre-image. Okay. So our pre-image L 0, M 03, okay, and then N 3 and 3. So let's graph it here. So our L is 0, this one, that's L. So 03, this one is our M. And then 33, that is our N. So let's connect that one. Okay, this is our triangle that we are going to rotate. Okay, how are we going to rotate it? It says counterclockwise 180 degrees. Okay, now let's find the coordinate rotation for counterclockwise 180 degrees. So remember I told you for counterclockwise, right? For 180 degree rotation, counter and clockwise are just the same thing. Okay, so for our rule, okay, we will follow negative x and negative y. So we are going to get the opposite of our x and the opposite of our y. So let's write it here. So let's have L prime. So as you can see, 0, 0 doesn't have any opposite because it's a natural number, no sign at all. So we just put 0, 0 as well. So L prime will also be 0, 0. This is L prime as well. Now M is 0, 3, so M prime. So the opposite of 0 is just 0. The opposite of 3 will be -3. So our M will be 0 and -3. Okay, is 0 and -3 is this one. So that is our M prime, sorry. And then lastly, for our N prime, we follow, so it's 3 and 3, so we take the opposite, so -3 and -3. So -3 and -3 is that one. So let's draw our image, this one. Okay, so the purple one is our, okay, rotated image. So this one is triangle, this is triangle L prime, M prime, N prime, rotated at 180 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, as you can see, we turn the image upside down. Okay, it's very quick and easy, especially if you have the rule. Okay, please complete that one on your paper. So at the end of this video, if you still have any question, you can come to me, but I will suggest that you finish first the video. Okay, and then you can actually go back whenever you are confused. Okay, let's move on to the second example. Okay, example number 2. Okay, we have a rectangle ABCD. Okay, with vertices A -5, 3, B -5, 0, C 0, 0, and D 0, 3. It represents the bed in Jackson's room. Okay, grab the figure and its image after a clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about vertex C. Then write the coordinates of the rectangle A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Okay, so just like what we did a while ago, let's list down our ordered pair for our pre-image. So A is -5, 3, B is -5, 0, C is 0, 0, and D we have 0 and 3. So let's graph it here. So -5 and 3 will be this one. That's A. -5 and 0 is this. That's B. 0, 0 is C, and then 0, 3 is our D. So this is Jackson's bed. This is our pre-image. Okay. Now we are going to rotate this one in a clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about vertex C. Okay. So let's go back to our rule. 90-degree clockwise. This is our coordinate notation for that. Okay. So we are going to follow, okay, we have, okay, y and then the opposite of x. So let's list down first our coordinates so that it will be easy for us to rotate. So let's have a prime. So a prime will be y. This is x, this is y, remember. So y will be 3, and then the opposite of x here, which is -5, so it will become +5. So our a prime is 3 and 5. So this one is 3 and 5. That is a prime. For b prime, we have y, which is 0, and then the opposite of x, -5, will be +5. So we have 0 and 5. So this one is your b prime. For C prime, as you can see, we have 0, 0, and it will remain at 0, 0. So this one is also our C prime. And then lastly for D prime, so our Y is 3, and our opposite of 0 is just 0. So 3, 0. So this one is D prime. So when you connect all those things, that will be your rotated image. Okay, so it's very easy if we have our rule. So this one now is our rectangle A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, rotated at 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, it's very easy. As you can see, it's a 90-degree clockwise rotation. It's going here. Okay, like the way of the clock going this one. Okay, I hope you complete your notes. Okay, for the next one, we're going to proceed to our example number 3. Okay, example number 3. Okay, rotating using coordinates. We have triangle DEF with vertices D, negative 4, 4, E, negative 1 and 2, F, negative 3 and 1. The triangle will be rotated 90-degree clockwise about the origin. So we're going to write the coordinate notation for clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about the origin, then write the coordinates of triangle D prime, E prime, F prime. Actually, for this one, okay, you're just only asked for the coordinates for triangle D prime, E prime, F prime, our rotated image. We don't actually need to graph anymore, but just for more practice in graphing, I will ask you to graph as well. Okay, so the coordinate notation, okay, for clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about the origin will be this one. So our first answer, we're going to follow xy. So we have y and negative x. So for our pre-image, we have negative 4, 4. Our E is negative 1, 2. And our F is negative 3 and 1. So following the coordinate notation, it's very clear that our coordinates for D prime will be 4 and 4. For E prime will be 2 and 1. And for F prime will be 1 and 3. Okay? So that is how you apply the coordinate notation easily to find your answer. So we have, let's graph first the pre-image. So negative 4 and 4 will be this. That's D. Negative 1 and 2. This is E. And then negative 3 and 1. That's F. So this one is our pre-image. So if we rotate it 90 degrees, so we have 4, 4. 4 and 4, that's D prime. 2 and 1, this is E prime. And then 1 and 3, 1 and 3 is our F prime. So this one now will be our rotated image. That is rotating 90 degrees, okay, clockwise. This one, 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so it's really helpful if we have the rules for rotation. Okay, that's very easy. Let's move on to example number 4. You can pause the video if you want to complete first your notes. Okay. Example number 4. It's just the same thing as a while ago. Okay. We have our rectangle M and PQ, and we are going to write the coordinate notation. Okay. And we are going to write the ordered pair for our image when we do clockwise rotation of 180 degrees. So let's find first our rule. So clockwise rotation, we follow this rule, negative x and negative y. So negative x and negative y. So let's write our m. Our m is 2, 5. Okay, our n is 6, 4. P is 6, 1. Okay, and then q is 2 and 1. So if we are going to do, okay, our coordinate notation, m prime, just opposite of x, so it will be negative 2 and negative 5. N, so negative 6 and negative 4. P, you have negative 6 and negative 1. And then Q prime, sorry, I forgot the prime, negative 2 and negative 1. So let's graph our image. So 2, 5. 2 and 5 is this. That is your M. Okay, 6, 4. 6 and 4. That is your N. 6, 1. 6 and 1. That is your P. 2 and 1. 2 and 1. Okay, that is 2 and 5. 6 and 4. 6 and 1. 2 and 1. Okay, that is a quadrilateral. Okay, I thought I'm making a rectangle. So it's okay, it's a four-sided figure. It's a quadrilateral. Okay, now let's draw our rotated image. So we have negative 2, 5, negative 2, negative 5. that is m prime, negative 6, negative 4, n prime, negative 6, negative 1, p prime, negative 2, negative 1, okay, q prime. And then we connect them so that we will have our rotated image. So as you can see, we are rotating our image 180 degrees clockwise. Okay, so it's like turning down the image upside down. Okay, so far we have four examples of rotating our image. So I do hope that you know how to use our examples, our rules, and how to draw it in our coordinate plane. It will still be better if you know how to visualize it, but the rules will also help us to do it. Okay, moving on with our next last two examples. What if we already have our rotation? We are asked to identify what rotation did we perform. Okay, remember in describing rotation, we are looking at the degrees and the direction. Okay, of our rotation. Okay, so take a look at this is our pre-image, the blue, and this is our image, the purple one. Okay, so this is a clockwise rotation about the origin. So all we have to do is to find out the degree of rotation. Okay, so how do we do that? So we list down first the ordered pair for our pre-image. So A, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So it will be easier if you're going to write down the numbers for your coordinate plane. So it will be easier to get the ordered pair. So you have negative 6 and 2, negative 6 and negative 2. So our B is negative 5 and 1, and our C is negative 2 and negative 3. Negative 2 and negative 3. Let's do the same thing with our pre-image, our image, so A prime. We have here 6 and 2, 6 and 2. B prime, we have 5 and 5 and negative 1. And then C prime, we have 2 and 3. Okay, now I would like you to observe our X and Y. Okay, take a look at our X and our Y, our X and our Y. And if you're going to compare them, right, the X here in our pre-image, it becomes the opposite of our image, right? So here, okay, our X negative 6 turned into positive 6. So that's the opposite of the given X. Negative 2 becomes positive 2. That is also the opposite of the given Y. So the rule is negative X and negative Y. Now take a look at our table. So as you can see, this one is negative X and negative Y. So therefore, this pre-image is rotated 180 degrees clockwise. Okay, that is how we describe our rotation. And it is clockwise about the origin, the center of rotation. So it's very easy. You just have to look at your ordered pair, read properly the ordered pair, remember the X first before the Y, and then check your table. Okay, we are down to our last example. I hope that you are learning more about rotation. Okay, so for our last example, it's the same thing with example number 5. We are asked to describe our rotation having this image and pre-image. So first, again, just like what we did a while ago, we list down the ordered pair for our pre-image. So our A, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So A is 5 and 2, while B is 2 and 1, and C is 3 and negative 2. Let's list down our image, our rotated. So A prime, we have 2 and negative 5. Our B prime is 1 and negative 2. And our C prime is negative 2 and negative 3. Okay, now let's try to find the rule. So this is our X and Y. Remember, this is X and Y. So let's find the rule. So as you can see first, our X for our pre-image is 2, 1, negative 2. It's the same thing with our y in our pre-image, right? So therefore, this one becomes our y. And then our y for our pre-image, look at our x, 5, -5, 2, -2, 3, and -3. It's the opposite of our x. So we have coordinate notation. This is coordinate notation, y and -x. So let's check our table. So y and -x will be this one. So we have rotated our image 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, that is how we check and how we describe our rotation. Okay, so there you have it. We already know how to rotate our image, how to get the ordered pair for our image, the rules of rotation, and how do we describe our rotation. Okay, please complete your guided notes and go back to the part of the video where you are still having a little confusion. Okay, okay, then what's next after watching this video? What do we do now? Just like I told you at the start, you have two options. First, you can get the rotation worksheet from me. And the second, you can also do your classwork on rotation. Okay? So, guys, okay, make sure that you complete the guided notes before you do these two activities. Okay, thank you for listening and watching. And if you still have any question, feel free to ask me questions. Okay, thank you and see you again for our next lesson. You got this.